Good day. I am William Mayville, and today I will be presenting on the Wolfpack Orbital Launch Funding Competition, otherwise known as WolfC. Before I explain that, however, I will first describe the history of the Wolfpack Cubesat development team. The Wolfpack Cubesat development team, which I will refer to as the WCDT, is a pioneering organization in STEM education. We have had success on the national scale, specifically at the middle and high school levels. However, the WCDT aims to go beyond the classroom, and it not just attempts to, but succeeds in preparing students to advance STEM through the development of critical life skills through hands-on experiences. In the future, the WCDT plans to expand to reach and educate more students on the national scale, specifically underprivileged and underrepresented students. For a summary timeline, the WCDT, originally the Weiss Cubesat development team, was founded in 2015. Between the years 2015 to 2019, its WeissSat-1 was launched into orbit, and CapSat-1 was accepted for launch, and I will explain both of those missions in further detail later. In 2021, when the Weiss School was closed temporarily as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the then named Wolverine Cubesat development team was incorporated and branched out to multiple states, forming teams in Nebraska and North Carolina. The Nebraska team's Big Red Sat was accepted for launch by NASA, and in 2021, the name Wolfpack Cubesat Development Team was coined. It became a 501c3 nonprofit and submitted 3 additional proposals to NASA's Cubesat launch initiative. Our proven system began with high altitude balloon or HAB missions. Such missions give students hands-on experience and provide an interesting yet educational experience. Students collect data from and monitor the balloons, once again providing students with real-world experience outside of the classroom. The HAB missions provided students with an opportunity to gain knowledge and experience for missions such as the WeissSat-1, which investigated the viability of extremophile bacteria in space. The WeissSat-1 was accepted by NASA's Cubesat launch initiative side by side with top research institutions. WeissSat was designed, built, tested, and flown by the WCDT and its partners. The more recent CapSat-1 will attempt to validate capacitor technology as an alternative to lithium-ion batteries for spaceflight. Once again, this mission, conceived by middle schoolers, was selected among top research institutions and is scheduled to be integrated and launched later this year. The WCDT has submitted 3 more proposals: WolfSat-1, WolfSat-4, and WolfSat-5, aka RhizoSat-1. These proposals were conceived and written by middle and high school students, providing practical experience. In addition, summer aerospace workshops and conferences are scheduled over the summer. Such events will enable students to gain the knowledge and experience to succeed in any field, especially STEM, and are a cornerstone of our educational process. In 2017, students began to co-author, author, and present at conferences. However, conferences have been attended since 2015. The conferences occurred locally, nationally, and even internationally, and attending and presenting at them allows students to gain important experience, as well as improving public speaking and networking skills. The development of such skills is critical in successfully furthering the STEM pipeline at the secondary education level. However, another critical component of such programs is building networks, bonding sponsors, and working with partners to design, build, test, and fly successful missions that both advance STEM and educate students. On this slide, a list of supporters that have provided hardware, financial support, and other forms of assistance to the WCDT is provided. Now that I've concluded this section on the history of the program, I will begin by summarizing the status quo. 3 key factors must be taken into consideration. First, STEM education is conceptual and siloed. While students learn about principles in the classroom, they rarely have opportunities to get hands-on experience applying the information. What's worse is that STEM education is really taught in a manner that highlights overlaps with and cross-application between multiple fields inside and outside of STEM. While education is heading in that direction, the private sector is moving away from that mentality. In recent years, a major shift has been seen as the emphasis is not just on learning information, but rather on applying that information. This is with the development of critical skills, such as public speaking and networking, that are developed through programs such as the Wolfpack Cubesat development team come into play, and why it is imperative that programs that develop such skills and provide students with hands-on experience grow and are replicated. The third factor is a need for an update in the workforce. While employers desire and need effective communicators, critical thinkers, etc., many in the workforce did not and do not have access to opportunities to develop such skills, leading to problems in the future. There are two key problems that WolfC aims to solve, the first of which is funding. While the rise of the Cubesat has dramatically increased access to space for entities such as small businesses and institutions of higher learning through reduction of costs, the lack of funds at the secondary education level prevents further expansion of the STEM pipeline. Students need funds to build, test, integrate, and fly satellites, and this barrier is a key reason why qualified instructors and committed students are unable to pursue such activities in aerospace. Second, lack of instructor knowledge. At the K through 12 level, there are very few instructors with the expertise, knowledge, and experience to successfully run aerospace programs to design CubeSats. In addition, even for those who desire to acquire knowledge about how to create and manage such a program, there is not a centralized source of information. This means that educators are forced to cobble together knowledge and advice from a variety of sources without the experience to know what actually needs to happen. In short, the lack of funds and the lack of instructor knowledge are two barriers that stand in the way of the extension of the STEM pipeline to the secondary education level en masse. First, I will discuss how WolfC will aid in lowering the funding barrier. WolfC will focus on providing an orbital ride to students at no cost. This will be done in a variety of ways, such as fundraising, development of relationships with public and private sector sponsors, etc. In addition, component guidelines for WolfC will be established for two reasons. First, to comply with federal regulations. Second, to fulfill any potential requests from sponsors. How the funds will be distributed will be through a competitive grant system. There will be three tiers. First, an abstract, an initial application to determine viability. If spots will be made available due to flight history or lack thereof, funding status, and/or any other such factors. Second, a technical paper will be submitted to further determine the viability and the merits of the mission. And finally, a quote-unquote pitch fest to develop entrepreneurship, communication, and public speaking skills will occur. And as part of that system, WolfC will also work towards the goal of providing testing at no cost to the students through sponsors/partners and funding. Second, I'll discuss the long-term educational goal of WolfC. First, we will identify knowledgeable instructors, something that will be accomplished through surveys, social networking platforms, and other such methods. In addition, we'll also aim to partner with Einstein Fellows, CTE educators, and other such individuals, especially in STEM. Generally, this will be accomplished through public relations and conferences such as this one. Ultimately, the goal of this is to identify the existing base of knowledgeable instructors, which will allow for the expansion of that base. A long-term objective in this regard is to create seminars to educate instructors. The goal of the seminars would be to provide educators with the tools they need to replicate the WCDT aerospace program. These objectives are already being accomplished through FlipSat 1. FlipSat 1 is a technology mission that aims to evaluate the effectiveness of hardening technologies with respect to several factors and to establish spaceflight heritage for microbits processors. However, it will also function as the first proof of concept for WolfC. WolfC will be providing the funding to launch FlipSat. In addition, FlipSat resulted in the creation of an aerospace club at the school of the student who is the primary investigator. This shows that WolfC and the principles behind it are viable. Using the funds and knowledge that WolfC aims to provide, we believe that the WCDT can be replicated elsewhere at the secondary education level. The first is in classroom instruction. However, WolfC will take learning beyond that to give students opportunities to work on real missions and gain hands-on experience. In addition, the values of WolfC mean that students who have benefited from it will go on to present at conferences, publish research findings, etc., which will allow students to hone practical skills that are valued in the private sector in the status quo. This leads to the values and long-term goals of WolfC and Blue Sky Learning. First, the development of human capital is essential. It is essential that students have access to hands-on experiences and opportunities to develop real-world skills as soon as possible. In addition, such opportunities aim to inspire young people and give them the ability to thrive in the field of their choosing. This will be done through the development of essential skills such as teamwork and others that have been spoken about extensively. The ultimate goal of this is to lower the barriers and allow the STEM pipeline to effectively expand into secondary education. The desired outcome of the efforts is the development of quote-unquote smart creatives through development of critical skills. First, creativity and innovation are essential skills given the current shifts in the desired skill set of the workforce. It is important that students are able to examine a problem and address that problem in a new innovative, and creative manner. The second skill is critical thinking. It is important that students are able to think critically about classroom knowledge and apply it effectively in real-world situations. This also includes development of analytical skills that allow students to not be reliant on pre-existing examples of precedent, but rather to form their own perspectives and address new problems in a rapidly changing world. Third, productive collaboration is key to success in the 21st century. The structure of the WolfC grant system and the goals of the education component are designed to foster teamwork and collaboration. The development of the ability to work effectively in a team is essential to achieving success in the real world. Fourth, effective communication is imperative. While one might have an excellent idea, if it is not communicated well, it can never be truly put into place in an effective way. As such, WolfC is designed in part to foster communication and presentation skills in order to ensure that students are able to discuss and debate ideas in a constructive manner to find an optimal solution to any given problem. Ultimately, the goal of WolfC is to foster the development of these 21st century skills through extending the STEM pipeline to the secondary education level. Now I will summarize everything I've explained so far. We've already proven that these methods, systems, and technologies can be implemented at the secondary education level. However, we have done more than implement such things. We have achieved significant success with them. This is shown in multiple ways. First, the diversity of students involved with the program, as well as the fact that many students who join in middle and elementary school end up staying involved throughout their high school years. Second, the outcome of our involvement in competitions such as NASA's CSLI, as well as other STEM and entrepreneurship competitions, demonstrate our success. Third, the work that students have produced is the most important indicator of success, as it shows that students have taken classroom knowledge and applied it in the real world, developed 21st century skills, and had hands-on learning experiences. This is shown through papers, presentations, books, proposals, and ultimately through successful Cubesat missions. Given the success that has been seen at the level that this has been implemented, we now seek to bring this technology and these experiences and opportunities to the underprivileged and underrepresented learners. We project the continued growth of the WCDT as well as various community outreach programs. As such, we seek support from committed partners for this proven pathway to elevate the underserved into the STEM career pipeline. Thank you.